Hi traders and welcome to the weekly market review. I'm your host Paul. This is where I use wave analysis to look at the charts to see what is the next movement in the markets. We're going to look at the S&P, the Nasdaq, and some select stocks. So let's get started. As usual, we'll start with the upcoming economic calendar. Kind of a lighter week this week as far as data points coming out. I think the biggest impact to the market might be the possibility of a war going between Iran and Israel. So definitely keep an eye on that. That'll spook the markets if that escalates into something bigger and draws in the U.S. So, but anyway, data points next Monday. You do have retail sales. Expecting a decrease and fairly substantial, half of what last month was. So from 0.6 expected to go down to 0.3. So can't imagine that the market's going to love that. You do have the Empire State Manufacturing Index, which is supposed to improve, still negative, but improve. Business inventories and housing data, I don't think that's going to matter a whole lot. Got building permits on Tuesday and some more housing data. Industrial production, nothing real big. And then Thursday, you got the Philly Fed, usual jobless claims, some more home data, and Friday, nothing. So, yeah, data point wise, this will be very, very quiet compared to this past week. All right, let's move on to the charts then. We'll start with the S&P. And last week I said that a key level was broke, that level right there. That signified that this move up was done. So that 5 was in. And then I said the next level to keep an eye on was this level down here, this 51.57, and late in the day on Friday, they broke it. So now that tells us that this entire move, because I was wondering if this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if they were just going to make like this ABC and then still go back up one more time. That was the only question that I had. Well, that's out of the window now. So that's a key level that they broke. And by the looks of it, it looks very much like they're making a leading diagonal. I mean, you got an ABC. I think that's 1. Here's an ABC up. That's 2. Gets a little choppy here, but I think this is A, B, and C. And I'd like to see the C actually get a little bit lower, get into this blue box down here at 51.43 at least. You know, could drop farther, but I mean, they got pretty close anyway. Just 51.50. So really, we're only talking about 8 points away, anyways. But either that's the 3, or maybe they'll, when they open up Sunday night, they'll push it back down into that blue box. But that could be 3, which then tells me we should be getting 3 ways up for a 4, or that'll be the key thing to watch. Do we get 3 ways up for a 4? And then 3 more and break either wherever this 3 ends, if assuming this is a 3, and then get 3 more, and then you'll have a leading diagonal, and that'll tell us that we're correcting this massive move up from the 22 low. So next week will give us all the answers that we need, because like I said, it should, if this is going to be a leading diagonal, we should just be getting a 3-wave move, and it can't break that high. So if you see the market ripping for some reason and they take out that high, then I'm going to have to look at this, because I don't know what this is correcting then. Like if we go back up and break that, that'd be a very strange looking pattern to me. So now that we've broken this this level down here, this becomes, if you're a bull, that becomes very crucial. You want to break that, because if they just do this, oops, let me get there, something like that, so maybe Monday into Tuesday, you get just a three-wave correction, so take something like this and copy it over here, and then it reverses, and then we break that low, then to me that's 5 waves, and it won't be looking very corrective then. So then I think that this, go out to the daily, that this big massive move up is finally going to start to have a correction. So that'll be a leading diagonal, correct up, and then we'll have to see what type of pattern they're going to be making here. But so the S&P has told me a lot anyway, that I think the big correction is underway. Now, when we look at the Nasdaq, they are defending that 4 low, 18,006. They are defending that heavily. So, CPI came down, and got really close. So 51. So what? 45 points away. Defended it, and then PPI comes out, and they blasted it up, and then today comes. So anyway, they're defending it very well, and they couldn't get even down to yesterday's low, or to Wednesday's low. So the Nasdaq still has not confirmed that this 5th wave is in. Now, I do have to say that if they reverse from here and go, this is just one of the ugliest patterns I've ever seen, because we're looking for 3 waves for all of these, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all are 3-wave patterns. And we do have the 3 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, that could be the 5. Now, this is an ABC, so there is a possibility that ABC, that was just the A, this is ABC down, and this was the B, and now they're going to go up and break the high for the C wave. And then that 5 would slide all the way over. But that would just look really, really ugly. If you look at, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, this is where 1 starts. Oh, let me get it. 1 is just 1, 2, 3, and 2 is this way. Now 3 was kind of big. They did make this as an A, and this is a B, and then this is a 5-wave impulse up for the C wave. So the 3rd wave was kind of big, kind of head faking, because I thought this was the 3 over here, and then they were coming down for 4, and then this is the 4. But then look how big the 5 would be time wise, not price wise, time wise, compared to all these other ways. It just there's no rule that's being broken yet, but just from a looks perspective, it doesn't fit this structure. So that's why I do believe that the 5 is in on the Nasdaq, and then especially when because of what happened on the S&P, but we still don't have the confirmation yet. They need to break that 18,006, because there's nothing stopping them from going up and breaking the high. So I think that, like this ABC, that would be 1, and then they made this ABC after PPI, and I think that would be 2, and I think this is just the start of the 3rd wave. But again, if they come up and they break that 518, if they come up and break that like Monday or Tuesday, this is getting really into a crazy pattern. So I'm expecting nothing but down from here. This might correct up, but it really should be staying under 518 and then coming down and taking out that 18,006 next week. So that's what I'm looking for, really, because the S&P has already broken two key levels, and I think the Nasdaq has to follow suit now. And then when we look at some stocks, so we've been following AMD, and just like the Nasdaq index itself, if I zoom in here, so here's that invalidation point, 161.8. If we zoom in, go down to a 30-minute, you have to really zoom in here. You can see on Friday came down to 161.83. So literally 3 cents, and they held it all throughout the day. So, just like the Nasdaq is really defending that key level 18,006, AMD they they're holding on to that for dear life too. So to me, it looks very much like we have just a little ABC here, and then another 1, 2, 3. This gets a little. It's hard to tell what this is. This could be 1, 2. And then this almost looks like maybe a running flat 3, 4, and then they're in the process of making 5. So of going down for 5 anyway. So I expect 161.8 to break next week, and then that would signify, when we zoom out, that this, I gotta really zoom out, that this entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move is done, and now the correction, which has already been happening for pretty much all of March and now into April, this is all starting the correction. So it should be something like, that'll be like the AB, they'll break it for the C, and that'll just be the A wave, come up for a B and a C, and then can start going up again. So, but we still got to make sure that 161.8 breaks, because they could reverse it. Look at Amazon. Amazon broke their high today, or on Thursday rather, and go to a daily on this. So this was a high set back in July of 21, and they just broke it. And to me, it looks very much like you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure. Now, I think this came up as a diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I've got 5 waves. So this needs to correct, but it's just going to correct this 5 wave move up. So there's going to be a pullback. We don't know how deep. I wouldn't expect it to be very deep. So I think it'll probably just come into like 170-ish, 165-ish. And then still one more up, and then that'll complete that leading well, we don't know what this is yet. If it's a leading diagonal, I think it's a leading diagonal. And then they'll get a bigger correction and then go. So Amazon, I think it needs a drop, but not a substantial drop. And then there'll be one more break of what they said on Thursday. So Amazon, I think you can buy, but I think you'll be able to get it lower, but you're not going to be playing for a whole lot. It's just one more break of the high. So you got to be careful with that. And then when we look at Google to me still looks like they're done too. I got this as A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they've set that off the high now. So Google to me looks like they need a big correction because we got an ABC, so I'd expect some type of ABC and then continue up. But Google should be, if they're not, they should be starting a correction if they haven't already started it. Microsoft. So Microsoft to me looks like they've got one more push up because what I see is looks to me like a diagonal again. 1, 2, 3. I think that's 1. I think that was 2. And then I see this as an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the A, B, C of the third wave. And now I think this was an ABC. So the 4 could be in. I guess they could drop it one more time, make a bigger 4. But I think the Microsoft has one more up. That's why I got these 5s over here. So one more up to break 430 would, because it looks like you've got an ABC, that's A, and then looks like you got a nice 3 wave here. I think that would be B. It should go up and break its top in an impulsive manner for the C wave, and that would be the 5th wave of the 5th wave. Now, if this breaks, this here, 417, I don't think that fits. Just like the Nasdaq, like if they come down here again, like this is so much bigger than any of these other waves. I guess the third, but even the third wave didn't have a huge pullback. Like this would be just a really big. I guess they could. It would still be valid. It just seems like if they do it now, if they go up now, it would just look a whole lot better. That would be the 4, and this would all be the 5th going up. I don't think coming down. I guess it's still possible. So this one's not too bad if you're kind of just playing a short-term trade. You can buy right here. But there is the possibility that 417 might not hold. But boy, that'd be a really big 4. Usually 4s aren't that time consuming, that big. So I would like to see it go up now. And Nvidia. All right. So Nvidia now, it almost came down to that green box that I've had here for a while. I got to say, though, it's got the potential that it's in the process of making a diagonal. So there was this little 1, 2, 3 wave move here. So that could be 1. This looks like A, B, C. So that could be 2. And now what they just did is they did this A, B, and then there's an ending diagonal here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A, B, C. So that is got me a little, because I've been thinking that the 5 is not in yet, and because I thought that this first move up was 3 waves. Now so far this is just 3 waves over to here, because that could be like a W, that could be X, and this could be Y, 3-way move. So we'll find out next week what's going on, because this so far, it's looking to me like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks it's very impulsive looking. So if they just correct here, like they've already started, and then they go up one more time and break that high, 907, and then reverse, I'd be really scared, because then I think that's 1, 2, 3. This is ABC for 4, and then they're going to come down for 5, and then this will be a leading diagonal, correct? And then they're dropping some more, and then I'm wrong that this is not somehow this is all just the 5th wave, and it's not a 3-wave move. So Nvidia might have their 5 in already. That's why I got it kind of in limbo over here, because this is getting really big, very time consuming. And, just like the Nasdaq index itself, like, look how quick the one, if what I thought was the first wave of the fifth wave, how quick that was. It just kind of went, and now this would all be two. Like, two is getting really big. So that's why if they drop one more time, that, I don't know, that just doesn't look. It doesn't look right. There's no rule that's broken, but just from a looks perspective, it's so time consuming. They should be going up. If they're gonna, if this is one and that's two, that they should just be going up from right here now. It shouldn't drop one more time. So I think we'll get the answer next week. I do think that they've got just a little bit up, break that 907, and then it'll be like a moment of truth for Nvidia, because if it pauses somewhere just above there and then starts to reverse, yeah, then I think this is a leading diagonal going down. But if this gets real strong and they're really pushing up here, then I think Nvidia's got a lot more, because then I do think all of that was one and that was two, and then this will be coming up for three, and then there'll be a pullback for four, but still one more up for five. So then Nvidia looks really good. So this one just got to be careful with. I do think they got to go up one more and then really watch the price action there. And we've been looking at Tesla. So, last week I said they did this perfect double bottom, which is kind of hard to see what they're doing here. But I think we've got an impulse here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they came right down into this perfect zone, and it bounced pretty hard. So I think Tesla's got one more up, at least one more up. So you got the impulse, either that's one or A, and then correction, and now it should be going up to break that. And it looks like you might have 1, 2, so maybe you get a 3, 4, and a 5. But it definitely looks, because I don't see, unless there's like some really wicked looking, like this is they're going to make a running flat. Would it be like a perfect running flat? So maybe it's possible it would be kind of ugly. Like that's the A, that's a B, and then this 5-wave move, that was the C wave. A, B, C, that was just a correction. And now it's actually going to be coming in and breaking 160. So I think as long as this holds 168, I think this should be 1, 2, and then they'll go up for 3, 4, and 5 in some fashion. Well, either diagonal or impulse. But if they come back down one more time, then this might be coming all the way down, because that's an awfully big correction for that move, for that short move up. Still could break and then reverse, but I'd have less confidence, because this move right here was very impulsive. So it should be just correcting here, holding 168, and then coming up, at least to break that high, the 175. But I think if they're doing that, then this is 1, 2, and then they should be coming up for 3, 4, and a 5. So I'd only be looking for the buy setup on Tesla, but a break of 68 would be pretty scary. All right, so that's what I see on the market. Hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.